Okay, so artificial intelligence. We hear this term everywhere, right? But what does it actually mean? Let's for a second just forget the sci-fi stuff, the killer robots. The reality is, AI is already a huge part of your life. I'm talking about the music it recommends, the news you see. So let's pull back the curtain and figure out what's really going on under the hood.
So, to really get this, let's skip the boring textbook definition for now. Instead, how about a little story? Imagine you're a manager, and you've just brought on a new intern. And, well, this isn't just any intern. This one is perfect.
We're going to call her Joe. And trust me, as you're about to see, Joe is going to change everything for your business.
So what makes Jo so special? It's not just that she's eager to work. She has this unbelievable knack for spotting patterns that no one else can see. And you figure out pretty fast that you don't need some huge, complicated job manual for her. Nope, you just kind of point her in the right direction, and she goes.
So, you decide to give her a test, a really big one. You point her to this absolute mountain of raw data. I'm talking years of receipts, customer notes, purchase records, the whole shebang. And your instruction is simple. Go find our best customers.
And this is where things get, well, a little weird. Joe starts working, and she seems almost superhuman. I mean, she works all night, never sleeps, never eats, never even takes a coffee break, just plowing through every single bit of information you gave her nonstop. And after a while, she starts finding things. Patterns start popping up. And we're not just talking about trivia here. These are real, actionable insights that could literally change your whole business. Things like, hey, shoppers on Friday afternoons, they tend to spend way more. Or, you know that customer who hasn't been back in 3 months? Yeah, they're probably not coming back.
But here's the really cool part, the magic, if you will. Jo isn't perfect right out of the gate. Oh no. A lot of her first observations are kind of rough, even wrong. But, and this is key, every single time she makes a mistake, she learns from it. Every new piece of data helps her adjust her thinking. She's just constantly getting better and better until her predictions are, well, they're shockingly accurate.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, there's no way this intern is real. This is too good to be true. And you know what? You'd be absolutely right.
So who is this person, this incredible, invaluable employee? How could anyone do all that?
Plot twist, Joe isn't a person. Joe is AI. And this whole story, it's not just some cutesy analogy. It's actually a pretty good look into how modern AI really works.
So let's break that down and connect the dots. Remember that giant pile of customer info? In the AI world, we call that training data. And Joe's amazing ability to get smarter over time, learning from mistakes, that's the core idea behind machine learning. And all those super valuable patterns she found, well, that's the AI output.
Okay, so our story about Jo gives us a really good feel for this stuff, right? Now let's build on that and get just a little more official.
This quote here is from John McCarthy, one of the pioneers of the whole field, way back in the 50s. The words to really focus on here are behave and judge. See, AI isn't about building a conscious thinking being. It's about getting a machine to do stuff that a human would look at and say, hey, that's intelligent. Kind of like how we judge Joe's work as being really smart.
And this is a really important point. AI is not just one single thing. It's better to think of it like physics or chemistry. It's a huge field of study with all these different branches and specialties inside of it.
So that begs the question, right? How does this artificial intelligence stack up against, well, the original version, the human brain? Well, the biggest difference right away is just the hardware. Our brains are, biological. They run on chemistry and about 86 billion neurons, all powered by roughly the same energy as a dim light bulb. It's wild. AI, on the other hand, runs on metal and electricity, often in these massive data centers that use megawatts of power.
And because they're built so differently, they have totally different strengths. We humans, we're great at things like creativity, moral reasoning, empathy, just common sense. But AI, it absolutely crushes tasks that need incredible speed and scale. Like Jo, our intern, finding those tiny hidden patterns in a mountain of data.
But of course, neither one is perfect. We have our emotional biases, our memories aren't great, and we get tired. AI, for all its processing power, doesn't actually understand anything. It's not self-aware. And this is a big one. It can reflect any biases that are in its training data. Plus, if you throw something at it that it's never seen before, it really struggles.
So we've said AI is this big, broad field. But what are the actual parts inside of it? How do they all fit together? Let's take a quick look at the AI family tree, so to speak.
The easiest way to think about this is like a set of Russian nesting dolls. The biggest doll, the outside one, is artificial intelligence. That's the whole field. You open it up and inside you find machine learning. That's our intern Joe's ability to learn from data. Then inside that, there's a smaller, more powerful version called deep learning. And what's the engine that makes deep learning run? Those are neural networks, which are these really complex systems that are kind of inspired by how our own brains are wired.
Okay, so we've got the basics down. But what's the big picture here? What does this all add up to? Is AI coming to replace us, or is it here to help us?
You know, it's funny, there's a really interesting parallel in history. When the first calculator came out, a lot of people were genuinely afraid we'd forget how to do basic math. But that's not what happened, right? It just became a tool that freed up our brains to tackle much bigger problems. So what if AI is like that? What if it's a calculator for ideas?
I mean, if you look back at history, you see this pattern over and over. The steam engine, the computer. Ever so often, a powerful new tool comes along and society has to figure it out, adapt, and then build on top of it. AI feels like it's just the next massive step in that evolution.
Because at the end of the day, AI isn't the end goal itself. It's a vehicle. It's a tool. Just like the printing press or the computer, it's this incredibly powerful new thing that's not here to replace how we think, but to make our thinking even more powerful. And really, that leaves us with the biggest and most exciting question of all. What are we going to build with it?